Greetings, goddesses. Come on in. Come on in. I'm back. How y'all doing out there? We're back, goddesses. Let's do this now. Come on in, goddesses. Let's get together. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's sip on our morning beverage. How y'all doing? Good morning. How are you, Alchemy, Alasia? Greetings, homegirl Nevi. How are you? Hi, Erin. Welcome. Still learning. Y'all come on in. Come on in. We're here. We're here. Glad to be here. Hello, hello. How are you all doing? It's so happy to be back. It's so crazy. I'm just a talking head on these live streams. But it doesn't feel like that. I feel the connection. I'm Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess-centered lifestyle. And this is our Inspired Goddess Morning circle. And I'm just so happy that I'm back. I missed the last couple of weeks. Went out of town 1 week, and then last week, I can't remember what was going on, but I was just like, I don't got it. Well, I was catching up from being out of town. Anytime I go out of town, then I have to play catch up. And I was just like, I can't. I'm just like, so much to do. But I'm happy to be back this week. And we're going to talk a little bit of astrology, do an oracle reading, and just whatever else comes up for us. We're definitely in this time period of the eclipses. Y'all, those eclipses, how are you doing with those eclipses? We had the Pisces eclipse, and I just feel like, typically there's what we call the time between the eclipses, and it almost feels like no man's land. Never with Pisces. Not for me, at least, as a Pisces sun sign. Man, it's just been a lot of emotion. Like, even this morning, I've just been like, crying and stuff. I'm like, what in the world? What in the world? So we have that new moon eclipse coming up in Virgo. And, Pisces and Virgo, they want us to heal. And there's a little bit of this releasing and this clearing that is needed. And they help to provide clarity, even though it feels foggy initially. And it's kind of hard. But anywho, yeah, we have that eclipse coming up. So glad to be here. We'll talk about that. And like I said, do an oracle reading. I just want to greet everyone who is here again properly. Alafia, how are you? Mystic Storm. And greetings to you, Goddess Nevi, my homegirl. And Erin, how are you, Queen? Still learning. How are you, Queen? Yes, let's get it, Queens. That's what we're working on. We are here to get it. I am extremely well. I keep having to remind myself that this year, one of my number one, I guess you could say, quotes that it's like a mantra is find the good and praise it. Find the good and praise it. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing this morning, just kind of taking stock and just feeling grateful for life, even though I'm telling y'all, it's been rough emotionally. Like, nothing bad is happening at all. Nothing bad is happening. Okay, so we are probably just going to go on ahead and jump right in. I do have a special reading. I didn't even bring it up. It's been in my email newsletter. Once I get a chance, I'll bring up the link, because I am telling y'all, these eclipses this year feel so pivotal because they're happening during a very pivotal year. And so I created a reading to look at how are the eclipses impacting you. And this reading will take you through the eclipses into next year, just to kind of give you like how do you navigate the eclipses. So be sure to avail yourself of that. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. I do want to just take a moment just to honor the great mother goddess and the ancient mothers, my guides, just honoring all of the ancestors, the Orisha, just all of the energies that are known throughout all of the traditions, um, and just giving thanks for all that you all do. May the only thing that happen today be for our highest and our greatest good. And we say Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. For anyone who doesn't know Ashe, it's like saying, yeah, let's do this. Or you're co-signing it, or and so it is. Okay. So I'm gonna pull up, where is this? Oh, I was about to say, did they change this on me? Okay. Oh, also, what are you drinking? I'm drinking, hold on, I'm gonna take this out for a minute. I'm drinking out of my Yemaja mug, Yemaya, because yeah, I'm emotional this morning. I said, "Oh, I know exactly which mug." But I mean, we can't help it with these kinds of eclipses and stuff like that happening. Come on, y'all. Pisces, Virgo, we're gonna have some tears flowing. So where are we this week? What is today? I don't even know. The 17th. Okay, here we go. So we have quite a bit of astrology happening. And I want to just pull up. Thought there was something I was missing. I like pulling up. I like seeing the chart. It makes me feel like I'm really seeing things the way I'm supposed to. Okay. So we have Mercury opposition Saturn. Let me tell y'all something. Mercury opposition Saturn. So we have Saturn over here in Pisces. We have Mercury over here in Virgo. This is a position where I'm going to tell y'all one way, and then I'm going to tell y'all something else. It's a little bit of a position of criticism where you could feel criticized. You could feel actually a little bit down and out. It kind of helps me to understand why I've been feeling the way that I'm feeling now that I think about it. Why you've been feeling down, and it can make you feel down and out, um, just really hard on yourself. And what's the other thing? Like, because Virgo is this sign that it sees everything that's wrong. It doesn't mean to be critical. The job of Virgo, and I want y'all to cut Virgo slack when they're like this. And maybe sometimes you can help them to realize, like, sometimes you got to say it with, don't give me everything. Don't fire hose me. Because Virgos can be very practical and a little bit blunt. They don't mean to be, but but sometimes we have to help them cultivate how they deliver whatever it is that they're telling us. But y'all cut Virgo slack, because the sign of Virgo is to pinpoint problems, okay? All the little bitty things that nobody else can see, Virgo can see. And a lot of times, if you take care of the problem before it balloons into something huge, then it's like, thank you, Virgo, right? So Mercury's in Virgo, and it's nitpicking and it's looking at everything. We even have let's see here, the South Node, the Sun, they're all in Virgo right now. And it's like nitpick, nitpick, nitpick. I'm just gonna nitpick everything. Everything is wrong, and looking at all the problems. And then it's oppositioning Saturn. So Saturn is this planet that is like, you know what? I'm just gonna be blunt. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And Saturn will tell you when you did good, but only if Saturn believes you've done well. It's in opposition. They're 180 from one another. So more than likely, Saturn is kind of like putting pressure on us. We feel some type of pressure. But Saturn is sort of like this, not sort of, it is a karmic planet. And it's looking at things and it's getting real. Like it's in Pisces. Here's the mess in your life. Like literally, you could feel like I'm looking at all the mess in my life. And part of you might be saying, and y'all, I might get a little teary eyed just because, like I said, I'm struggling right now, y'all. It's kind of like that you've done your best, but it's been lack of, like I was talking to my younger brother and we were talking about how so many decisions we made were due to lack of proper mentorship, or that you've been wounded as a child or in some way, and it just really threw you off. Like we need to honor wounding. We need to learn to be like, you know what? Yeah, I experienced trauma. I remember one time this lady in this training I was in, she was like, people always think that they have trauma. Sometimes it's trauma with a little T and sometimes it's trauma with a big T. Baby, if it changed you and it hurt you, it is trauma. I don't give a doggone, I'm trying not to cuss, if it's with a big T or a little T. If it changed you, and it feels like you cannot operate like you would have had that not happened. Sometimes we need to take that time and just be like, you know what? This did happen to me. And that's kind of how we might be talking, like, this happened to me and that happened and I didn't have this and I didn't have that. But Saturn is like, well, okay, but you got to do something about it, because that trauma is leading you down a path that you don't want. And so this could feel sort of hard right now. This could feel really, really hard right now. So my heart goes out to you all. And then we have all the eclipses, and eclipses are fated events. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm a spiritual guy, but at the end of the day, I create things that I sell, okay? Because it helps me to stay in business. If y'all feel so moved to join my membership, I put in a fabulous eclipse class. I actually spend the most time when I have eclipses. I spend a lot of time talking about eclipses. And so I encourage you to join the membership. There should be a link in the description box. And the reason I'm bringing that up is I talked extensively about how eclipses are some of the most pivotal astrology that we can experience. And part of the reason y'all see what y'all see in me is because when you have the eclipses happen, say for instance in your sun sign, your moon sign, or your ascendant sign, which means that it's going to also be or the sign where your MC is, then it creates massive shifts, and these shifts are fated. I believe that the majority of the time, and I'm going to put this in quotes, we are living lives that are by choice. We're making choices. And I put that in quotes because our subconscious mind, which this North Node is in Pisces, we have Saturn in Pisces, Neptune is soon to come back into Pisces. Pisces represents the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is really what's making the choices. Okay. This is why these eclipses are so important. Saturn, Neptune being there, so important, because honestly, our conscious mind is following the subconscious mind. But I'm going to set that to the side. I believe that we are choosing what we desire. But when it comes to eclipses, they are designed to align you with your destiny. If you are aligned with your destiny, you may feel, when we see people who have meteoric success, that I bet you something is happening with those eclipses. Sometimes we see people and it's just like, why is their life completely and totally unraveling? Y'all know, well, maybe y'all don't know, but I'm obsessed with Will Smith. I had even made a video about him, but I didn't post it because I was like, maybe I'm just doing this for myself. But we can really see a lot in astrology when we look at people who are famous, and we can see what's actually happening, at least from the outside, in their lives. And he has planets in Libra and Virgo. Actually, this started with Scorpio. When those eclipses, and it's the South Node, when those eclipses were in Scorpio, that's when his life started unraveling. And it just hasn't, in my opinion, stopped. I think he's making the best of it, you know? But sometimes when we see people's lives unraveling, it's because you're not aligned with your destiny. You're not. And these eclipses will create an undoing that is of epic proportion. Okay. So I really want y'all to know that this is such a pivotal time because of all the massive shifts in those outer planets and changing on the collective level. And then we have these eclipses happening this year. Could have been in any sign, but it just so happens it's in Pisces and Virgo that it just creates like shifts that I cannot overstate. It's very important for us. And I think that this Mercury and this Saturn meeting today in this opposition, they is like we can see that Pisces fog is not there. We may not know the fullness of what we're seeing, but we are seeing it. And it can feel very, very challenging. So if you feel a lot of criticism for yourself or whatever, you got to you got to cut yourself some slack, okay? Some of y'all might need to cry like me and do a purge, just release all that pent up emotion and then come up with a plan. Come up with a plan, and then within the plan, there's all these little tasks to do. That's what this transit is about. Wealth Rising, how are you? Good to see you. Let me see here. I'm going to pause just for a minute, y'all. We have Mystic Storm drinking water mixed with fiber. That's good. Green tea. Nice. L-theanine. Aw. And some of your grandma's fine china. I love that, Tosh. Okay, I've been extremely emotional these past few weeks. Yes, Aaron. I mean, I don't even have words for the level of emotion. Good morning. How are you, Vivi Embroidery Queen? Latanya. We have water. Ooh, chai tea. Oh, chai tea. Thank you. Oh, yes, y'all. Let me drink some water. It's funny. I learned a long time ago if you drink water, it'll help. For whatever reason, it helps to like calm the emotions. Mm. Okay, sometimes I drink it to stop crying. Okay, so mm-mm-mm. Okay, so we're gonna have Mercury go into Libra tomorrow. So yeah, today might feel a little bit rough. Today might feel a little bit rough because Mercury's gonna be on that 29th degree of Virgo. It's just so much karmic stuff in the air right now. Okay. Um, and then it'll immediately go opposite it'll oppose Neptune, which Neptune is the ocean, super emotional, even though it's in Aries, it doesn't matter. Neptune is gonna bring emotion. It might bring like passionate emotion. It could bring anger, but it's like an angry cry. It's like, I'm just so angry, I'm just gonna cry, that kind of thing. And this one could be, again, it's sort of like bringing up topics around you and other people, you and in a relationship with someone else, maybe a sibling, a friend, or something. It could bring up, you know, some type of you're at odds with somebody, okay? Maybe even, well, yeah, a neighbor. Um Now Mercury is the mind. So maybe part of what is happening is some of the logic is being a little bit softened down with this Neptune opposition. And it's kind of like this I don't know how to explain it. I had the words one time. I saw somebody write it. But it's like this way, it's like logic, but it's actually intuition. Intuitive logic is what I'll say. Maybe it's like, oh, this download that comes to you, but you feel like this is a voice from, from above, that kind of thing. So, but I will say you do want to quell any of this chatter that potentially could be happening in your brain. It could be whatever is being told to you is talking about, hey, you need to get more balance in your life, or maybe you put somebody, you put aside a relationship and you need to revisit it in some kind of way, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Ekaro Ayoka, how are you? Good to see you, Queen. Latanya, I feel exhausted. I just wanted to go back to bed this morning, but I had to mom and take the kids to school and go to work. Giving you a big hug, Queen. Giving you a big, big hug. Yeah. It's I told myself this morning, not can I just gotta get through this eclipse. Woo! We're not having that eclipse till Sunday, really? Okay. Just giving everybody a big hug because I'm telling you. Okay, so then on the 19th, Venus goes into Virgo. And so I talked about this in the monthly video. Venus going into Virgo, it's still that Virgo energy where we can be a little bit more focused on all the fine details in our relationships with different people, not just love, but all the different relationships where it's kind of like, well, I don't like this and I don't like that. But it's kind of like, well, what are you going to do about it? We don't want to just notice it and complain about it. It's sort of like, what are you going to do about it? But what I do love about Venus and Virgo is Virgo does a lot of mundane stuff, like going into the closet and organizing it. Who wants to do that? Nobody, except for people who are Virgo like, have this Virgo type of propensity. But most people don't feel like doing that because you got to think like, okay, well, do I keep it? Do I let it go? How do I get things organized? It's like, Virgo is very analytical, like, okay, how do I set this up so that it makes sense and it works for me? Because, it's about streamlining and being efficient. See, baby, when Virgo works, everybody loves it. When stuff is streamlined and everything is running well, that's because Virgo has taken the time to engineer this thing so that it runs properly. So when things are working, nobody's got to complain about this Virgo energy. But when things are messy and awry and you got to put it together, nobody, nah, we're not trying to do that. But Venus being there can make you want to do things that require, it's like a lot of detail, or it's very mundane and repetitive, that kind of thing. Venus can make us really appreciate it. Venus going into Virgo can make us hyper focus on our health and our well-being and taking care of ourselves, and buying green drinks or vegetables, or just kind of focusing on that, or like, oh, I need to get back to my yoga, my bar class, get back to my working out, that kind of thing. Just really looking at how am I living my life, but we'll like doing this while Venus is there. Okay. So I love Venus and Virgo, and I really love Virgo energy. I just love that energy so much. So I'm happy to get one more planet there before we're just done. Well, the South Node is there, but the South Node is making me cry in Virgo. Okay. So we have Mercury trine Uranus, Mercury trine Pluto, because hold on. Mercury can't trine Uranus. It's Mercury sextile Uranus. Mercury trine Pluto. But no. Yes, 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 yes. I'm sorry. Mercury's over here. I was thinking about over here. Yes. Okay. So Mercury trine Uranus, Mercury trine Pluto. Now, I think that that's gonna lift us up a little bit. I just want y'all to take note as to how you feel maybe even actually starting a little bit tomorrow, but you will really feel it on Friday, maybe a little bit into Saturday. Mercury trining Uranus and Pluto, because this is air energy. You know, air brings this energy of lightness, and it brings this energy of the mind, and air energy is not emotional. So it could kind of help us to feel like, okay, I don't feel as emotional. And I'm not going to say it's going to take away the emotion, because this eclipse is very, very strong. But um, it could help us to kind of feel like, okay, I can think at least. It's not just emotion. I can think. It can make us feel more social. We can see things happening in the world that are beneficial, I think, to society. um Something positive in that way could be happening in the collective, because Pluto is in the sign of the collective. All of these are social signs. Uranus in Gemini, that's the local community. Libra, where Mercury is one-to-one relationships, and then Pluto is in the collective, the greater society. And so there could be something very beneficial happening, even something about some good news could come out. And I know we all need some good news, because it just seems like the media loves focusing on, not seems like, the media loves all of the drama and is doing its best to make us all feel down and out, and, you know, it wreck our nervous systems. But something good, I'm happy to see that transit. But it could just make you feel more social, and maybe you don't try to get out and do anything, but socially you make a connection in some kind of way, one to one, in your neighborhood, in the collective. You go to some big gathering or something like that. So that could happen, and it helps with thinking and the mind, and just all the learning and all the things that require intellect and thinking and analytical skills. And maybe we'll even hear of some invention, something going on with an invention, something maybe that's already invented, but maybe, you know, it's had an improvement of some sort. Okay. Oh, hey, Natasha. Welcome, Queen. Good to see you here. Okay. So, at the same time, we're having Uranus trine Pluto. And so that is, you know, just another addition to what's happening with this Mercury. All this air energy trining. What is a trine? I want y'all to open yourselves up starting tomorrow, the 18th of September, to a blessing that, um, or an opportunity that comes your way, a gift, a miracle. All right. Open yourself up to something good happening to you. 18th, 19th, 20th of September. And I really do think the airwaves, the airwaves, there's going to be something about the news, something that we're hearing, something, I think, sort of like a little bit of epic proportion. And that's just because Uranus and Pluto are outer planets and they're interacting. That's not typical. Okay. So when these planets start interacting, that are in the outer spheres, um, they're so slow, they it's like they create this shakedown, you know. It's a trine. So yeah, it'll be a good type of shakedown of some sort. I think also 100, it's so hard to keep up with what's going on in other places, but I remember hearing, was it Nepal? Like some, I think it was in some Asia, a country in Southeast Asia, maybe one in Africa, and some other place. People are protesting and uprising against governments. So it could be something like that, massive protest, but it'll be something that happens that sparks it all of a sudden, because of that Uranus energy. So Let's see. Let's see. Uranus wants to give you an up level, a breakthrough. So maybe there's some big change that you've been working to make. And Pluto's been working on you, working to get you to make that change. And then when it interacts with Uranus, all of a sudden you just have this breakthrough and the shift, the change has happened. That's a part of this new moon. Let's see here. Uranus at 1 degree and Pluto at 1 degree. That energy will be actually flowing with us into the next easily 6 months because it's a part of this new moon in Virgo, but really for the next year. That makes me happy. Anytime I see something like that going on, that makes me very, very happy. Wait a minute, this is the wrong one. So we've been having this one for a minute. That's great. Let me go back. Oh, I didn't realize it said August, September. I love cafe astrology charts. I often wonder how they make money. Okay, so yeah, that one is definitely going with us into the next year because it's been in both of these Virgo new moons. The first Virgo new moon had it at, it was at 0 of Virgo. So the second new moon eclipse in Virgo is it has it also. 1 degree of Gemini, 1 degree of Aquarius, these 2 planets. So that's pretty doggone incredible. And also this Neptune is going to be included in that. So y'all, this eclipse right here, whoo, and then we have Mars at 29 degrees. Whoo. Whoo. Wow. Mm. I wish I could see what it's gonna be, but I'm telling y'all for the next 6 months easily, but into next year this time, I think we're gonna see some of the biggest changes that we've ever seen. And with planets being at 29 degrees, there's gonna be an ending. Some karmic ending is coming forth. But by the same token, okay, check this out, y'all. Let me see if I can get this thing to okay, this is a little bit better. Let me see if I can. How do I? Can I go just a little bit more? Okay, so we have the moon is happening at 29 degrees, and then we have Mars at 29 degrees of Libra. I mean, honestly, Saturn is not far from the 29th degree. It's at 28 degrees, which is definitely a critical degree. So with those planets being at 29, there is definitely some major shift that's happening. Karma is going to be doled out. Okay. It could be you, it could be me, it could be people that we're going to see in the people who are leading and movie stars and people who are more visible in the world. Everybody's going to be dealing with something karmic. But so that these are the personal planets that are karmic. So maybe it will be more karmic. But at the end of the day, this has to do with the collective too. But it's interesting that all of these social planets that are in action, minus Saturn, these are actually not social. They are generational. Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus are generational planets. They stay in a sign for a very long time. So it's like generations will have those planets in the same sign. So for instance, people born in maybe the last few years of the 60s through I think it's like 73 have Pluto in Virgo. That's why some of us born in the early 70s, we're a little bit different from those 74 and later. We're a little bit different because they have Pluto or y'all have Pluto in Libra. Okay. So it sort of defines a generation. right? So these are generational planets. But anywho, they are at the early degrees, 1 degree of Aquarius, 0 of Aries, 1 of Gemini. They're in the early degrees. So something new is being set up um, with this moon. Also, there's an ending and then something new is being set up. And it will play out in your life in the exact same way if we're looking at the individual astrology. But we're all a part of this collective shift. And so I just think it's important for us to make sure just do what you want to do. Do what you're called to do. That's the best thing to do at this point. It's like it'll help the world be better when we all are doing what we're called to do. And then we're going to have Venus square Uranus, which can create something unexpected. This is on September the 20th, something unexpected in a relationship. It could feel a little bit uncomfortable, but Venus is also um, our self-worth, our self-value, and our appearance. So it could be something around those topics, you know. Um, you're gonna get a breakthrough in some kind of way, or maybe you're kind of pushed, like believe in yourself. That kind of thing could be happening. But it definitely brings perhaps something unexpected. Could bring some unexpected money, but it creates something unexpected in the realm of money because Venus has to do with money. But it'll feel stressful, whatever that thing is. Okay. Uh, but maybe it's kind of like you missed the detail. And so because you missed that detail, this transit is happening so that you can see you missed the detail around money, or in the relationship, that kind of thing. Okay. And then we're going to have that new moon eclipse in Virgo. Um, the sun is opposing Saturn right before the eclipse. That's one intense eclipse. Now it's got those good transits. It's got the good things in it that I talked about with these planets in Libra. Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? That's not it. Here we go. With these planets, and we have not Libra and air signs. That's really really nice. Okay. Um, even though Venus is not a part of the new moon, she is bringing that Venusian energy to the sign of Virgo, so that's helpful. Even though she is squaring Uranus, so again, there's some type of breakthrough that this moon is bringing. It is this moon is going to be bringing something, like it's going to be tripping. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to be tripping. Um, I do want to go ahead and include this Jupiter down here in Cancer. It's within 10 degrees of the moon. I'm going to count it. So what I love about that is um water supports earth. So there's something in this. There is some type of um oh, it's actually trining the nodes. So wow. It's bringing like this energy of wisdom, and it's like I want y'all to think about there is a whirlwind, but there is like this blessing. It's almost like you can see the blessing in the whirlwind. You can see the blessing in the mess. There's some opportunity that comes your way, some miracle that comes your way. I want y'all to stay open to miracles over the next year. Okay. Um, and it could be something ancestral because Cancer is a sign of ancestors. And it could be, I definitely think it's something healing because Cancer is such a healing sign. And a lot of intuition, a lot of intuitive hits, a lot of, this intuition could just really be on point also. Um, so I love that Jupiter is there interacting with this moon. For anyone watching who is in the my membership. I'll be putting in another video today. I already talked about this moon a little bit in the first video, but I'll talk about it a little bit more today when I put that video in the membership. Let's see here. So yeah, and just the fact that the moon, like if I didn't look at anything else and just talked about that moon being at 29 degrees, that would be enough. So get your tissues out. You might be doing a lot of crying. Sometimes with the 29th degree, especially like I said, we got that Saturn over there. It's just like this huge reality check. But sometimes that bitter medicine comes um, right when we need it. And it gives us exactly what we needed to move forward. Because maybe we just weren't moving, or we were going in the wrong direction, or yeah, just we weren't seeing things right. And we get that reality check, we get that bitter medicine, and it helps us to going ahead and yeah, get more aligned. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, y'all, please. Honestly, y'all, I'm telling y'all, any creator that you love, watch the videos for at least, you know, if you can get through half of it, or don't start looking at the video until you can really watch the video. They don't care how many subscribers we have on YouTube. They care how long are people watching, because it's kind of like, is this even worth us showing other people? Is there any value? And the value is shown through people watching the video, even if you have to just mute it and walk away because you can't finish it. Do that, and then of course giving some likes to the videos. It lets the algorithm know that it's something of worth, and I hope that y'all feel like I am giving y'all something of worth and value. So thank you as always. Thank you as always. Okay, wait a minute. I lost where I was. Mhm. Hey, how are you, Queen? Yes, how are you? Good to see you, Margot. I think that's Margot. I had a dream last night that there were two moons in the sky. I wonder what that means. That's deep. I'm gonna sit with it for a minute. If anyone else has any thoughts, something came to me immediately, but I want to just sit with what I said. I will say we did have two Virgo moons. That's the first thing that came to my mind. We had a moon in Virgo in August, and now we're having our second Virgo moon. So yeah, that's deep. How do you figure out what you're called to do? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think most of us, we know what we're supposed to do, but if it's contrary to what we're used to, and I'm gonna just make myself a little bit bigger. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Um, if we are doing something contrary to what society says is acceptable, then we'll doubt ourselves. But most of us actually have a clue as to what we are called to do, because we have a propensity for it. You lean towards it. So, this morning, as I was thinking about my own, because let me just say this. Part of how you know what you're supposed to do is you look at your astrology chart and you look at where the eclipses are. Now, it's very important to know what house it's in, but to know the sign is helpful also. You know what house it's in because you have the accurate time of birth. Try to not guess unless it's a really good guess. Like for me, I don't know the exact time of birth of my younger son because I had him at home and we didn't know to check the time immediately. I wasn't into astrology or anything, but I know for a fact that I had him somewhere between 4 o'clock and 4:10. Okay. So we always put 4:05. That's what I put to try to get as accurate as I can. So if it's a really good guess, that's fine. And so I was thinking this morning, like, y'all, it's not easy having a business. It's not. I don't care what anyone tells you. All this putting this out here, you can have your own business, used to be what everybody had. Having a job is a good thing. Never poo poo on feeling like, well, I got to have this job instead of having my dream. It's not necessarily true. Sometimes you get a job to finance your life so that you can engage your dream. And if you can get that dream to a point where it replaces your job, that's great. But a job is good. I even have a job, I have a part time job. It's extremely flexible. I give thanks. But yeah, but I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, if and I'm just being honest with you, I've been thinking about going to get a full-time job because it's hard trying to constantly, oh, excuse me. I hope that did not mess up my sound. Let me know if I still sound okay. But it's hard trying to finance, uh, not finance, but it's like I've got to learn how to make money on a regular for me to be able to do this full time. And if I get tired of the hustle to do it, I might need to go get me a job. And I thought to myself this morning, you can do everything you can. You can tell yourself everything you want to about the difficulty of having a business. But at the end of the day, Tyra, because of that North Node in Pisces, you'll go work a full-time job and then you'll come, at night or something and make a video or, write blogs or something. Because it's something I've always done. I've always shared inspiration. Maybe I didn't know astrology, but ever since I was a little girl, I was considered wise. And then I started realizing, oh, I'm spiritually different. And I didn't mean to come on here and have a YouTube channel. I just one day started sharing wisdom back in 2011. And after a while, people started commenting on my videos like, oh, that was very helpful, la, 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 and I just kept going until I decided, well, I saw my astrology. I was like, hey, you can try to run from this if you want to, Tyra, but the astrology says you're supposed to be somebody who does spiritual work, share spirituality. And I also know that I share inspiration. I have Jupiter in my first house. And and wisdom. I am a diviner. I'm very good at doing readings. And so I knew this all along. I started doing readings in 2002 and I was just a natural. I knew it all along. But if I go out into the world and tell people like, yeah, I'm really good at readings and I divine and I do these kinds of things, then most people be like, what is that? Or, you know, some people, would be like, oh, you're evil or whatever. It's not acceptable. So I could say I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I did all the time know what I was supposed to do. And the question was, how was I going to express it? Well, I had to figure out what it was. I never imagined I would, as a little girl, I would have a YouTube channel because it didn't even exist. I'm actually kind of good at YouTube, right? So um we kind of know. This is such a good question. Thank you for asking, Aaron. We kind of know what we're supposed to do. But where you have doubt, then getting things like a reading, I think are extremely helpful. Paying attention to what people talk about, because a lot of times people will do things like sometimes people who cook, it's comes so easily and effortlessly to them. They don't actually think it's special. But everyone else is like, I could never cook anything like this. Well, maybe this person's purpose is to cook. Now, let me say this also that I think is very important, and it's what I'm talking about. Vocation and purpose are not necessarily the same. Sometimes we're going to have a vocation, which is a way for us to make money and to live, because this is the world we live in. Well, it's just life in general. Um, Everyone has had to have a vocation of some sort. And then there's purpose. And sometimes purpose is done in the off hours. Sometimes purpose is done every moment. I was thinking about people who they're just friendly wherever they go. They speak to people, hello, how are you doing? They just bring this warmth and they see that as their purpose. That's a little bit of me. When I go out in public, I've always been the type of person that's just like, like a sunshine ray. Hello, how are you? I'm speaking. I sometimes look for the people, they're looking kind of down and out. And it's like, if I can make eye contact with them, I'm going to let them know I see you. Hello, how are you doing? A lot of times when I see senior citizens at the grocery store, I go out of my way to speak to them. My neighbor, Bill, he doesn't live with anybody. And I know it's a lot of seniors out there. They don't really see a lot of people. So I make sure I speak to them when I see them. How are you? You know, that's part of my purpose. It will never be monetized. It will never be, well, maybe it could be. Who knows? If I was a Walmart greeter, maybe. Well, I will never be a Walmart greeter. Maybe a Kroger greeter because I ain't gonna go work for no Walmart. But anywho, no shade on anybody who shops there or works there. But anywho, yeah, if I was a greeter, I even went to I was going to this water park this summer, and I thought, I feel like I could be that old lady working here. Totally odd because there's so many young people there, but I would just be there for the love of it, to say hello to people, tell people which direction to go. Like, I could work at Disney World easily. I could work on a cruise ship. I've always wanted to do stuff like that, y'all. Seriously. I mean, be some type of person that's just like, hey, how are you doing? Like, that's my job to greet you. So I guess I could monetize it when I think about it, Aaron. Um, yeah, you got to think about the things that you love to do, the things that make your heart sing, and you got to be unapologetic about it. You need to not care if you make money, because that's the thing about purpose. You actually don't really care if you make money doing it or not. And that's why I said I could go get a full-time job, and I would not show up as much as I am now, but I would always share astrology, numerology. I'm not getting a full-time job at this point, but it has crossed my mind. It really has. Just saw you're live. Hello. Hi, Megan. How are you? Good to see you. Glad you're here. This medicine is horribly bitter. I like how you said that. Horribly bitter. Oh my God. Aaron, you and I, we here together today. Bless you for saying that. I've always been told that I'm not meant to do what I know I'm meant to do, and I'm finally leaning into it. Yeah, Megan, I have figured out, I remember when this came to me, that a lot of times when we feel all this tension and this confusion and this stress, it's because we are a triangle trying to fit into a circle, or a circle trying to fit into a square, or a square trying to fit into a triangle. We're trying to do what the world says we're supposed to do. And once I finally decided, you know what? Let me see what it feels like. If I just say, I'm going to do what feels right to me. And that's when I was like, no, I'm in a triangle fitting into a triangle, a circle fitting into the circle, a square fitting into the square. It's like, it just felt like ease and flow. I felt so much more happy. It does take a little bit of time. I was thinking this morning, honestly, that I don't think, let me tell you something else I love about astrology. And I hope that some of y'all got my perfected course that um, was in the bundle, because what it talked about is, when you understand the mission of like where you are, then it helps you to kind of understand, okay, this is why I feel the way that I feel. And this is why things are happening in the way that they're happening. In astrology, we talk a lot about timing. And so it's like all these cycles. And so for the perfected year, for instance, we go through a cycle of 12. There's 12 years that we're going to go through. And then we start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like every time we get back around to one, we have so much more experience with us, in our lives, so much more awareness. When we think about the Saturn return, we start out first 28 to 30 years. That's one Saturn cycle. Can you imagine how much more wisdom you have if you're blessed to make it to that second Saturn return, which is around 58 to 60? Okay. So we get to these and so it's like it does take a little bit of time to really master ourselves. That's what I'm about. Self-realization, self-mastery. And if we can begin to see life as I'm here to know who I am. That's what I love about what I teach. I'm here to understand who I am. At some point, when we're doing the self-mastery piece and when we're leading with that, no, I cannot listen to what other people tell me I'm supposed to be. I might test it out. I might see. Because sometimes people are seeing things in us that we don't see in ourselves. Sometimes I can literally see extremely talented people. I just have an eye for it. They may not be doing anything super special in that moment, but it's like I've been a talent agent. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all this quick story. I used to teach Zumba, and we had this Zumba group in Middle Tennessee, Nashville area. And this instructor who I had never seen before, this Latino guy, he posted this video and he was like, y'all, I just want to post this video. It was totally not Zumba. It was him performing. And it was like he wanted to be inspirational. I was like, what's your name? His name is Alejandro. I'm actually going to bring Alejandro on my channel because I love Alejandro so much and he's so inspirational. We're very similar. And I was like, you need to come to the Global Education Center where I work. We need your talent. Alejandro has been there ever since. It's been, oh my gosh, over a decade easily. I can see stars, right? And so sometimes we can see things in people or people see things in you and it's like, you're a star. You're really good at this. Sometimes people see stuff in us like, hey, I don't like this. You got a character flaw that you need to do something about. But it's up to us to test it and make a decision like, okay, I agree or disagree. And the self-mastery piece takes time. And so at some point, we'll get to that point. I know Megan is 30-ish, I know she's close to that point where it's just kind of like, I no longer will do what society says do. I'm going to do what I say do. That's what happens when we start going into the 30s, late 20s, going into the 30s and beyond. It's like, I ain't doing what y'all say do. And now here me in my 50s, I'm like, wow. What age and maturity, if we allow it, because it's a lot of people my age, they are not mature. But if we allow that maturity to really set in, we will see things so much more differently. So we got to be gentle with ourselves. Be gentle with yourself. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. If people are bashing you for the things that you really dream of, be gentle with yourself. Don't be like, yeah, you shouldn't do this. And you might do that and just be like, hey, let me just be a little gentle. I don't have to fall for everything that everybody is telling me. I got to figure this out for myself. So self-mastery, self-realization. My first book comes out tomorrow. Woohoo! Third grade Megan would be so proud. And that's all I care about. You know what? That is so good, Megan. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Because I've been watching you work on that book. Got any insight from me? North Node in Scorpio, fourth house. Well, we had those eclipses happen. We had those eclipses happen back in, I think it was around 22, 23. In maybe it was, yeah. I know 22. I know that for sure. So I wonder what happened back then. Did you get realigned with your destiny? It may have been you were a little bit off and you got realigned with your destiny. So, but Scorpio, North Node and fourth house, anytime you have a fourth house, North Node, family is going to be home and family will be very important. Very. I love cooking in actuality, I've been wanting to open my own restaurant or start with the food truck. Look at that. I used your exact example, and I don't know why I chose that one, but maybe spirit gave it to me, Aaron. That's interesting. Aaron, okay. Yes, I really need to connect with you, Tyra, and get this membership. I'm so happy. Veronica, my godmom. Oh, I love Veronica so much. Introduce me to your YouTube page. Yes. It's in the description box. I put it there. The Soul Alchemy membership. Only $9.99, y'all. And Megan and I know our coach Faith says it could cost $9.99, $9.99. It could cost $999. You still gonna have to do what it takes. It's a very good membership. I love my membership so much. I really do. God bless our 30s. Screw your 20s. They're so hard. Let me tell you something, Megan. Each decade I have found to have its own challenges. That's one of the things I love about astrology because it kind of helps you to understand, what each decade or it's cycles that we're working with uh, is about. So, like I said, I have a reading. If you just go to the description box and look to where you can see my website, you can go there and look at the readings that I have. But I tell people all the time, I know I stand to profit and benefit, but I'm very serious. I have very affordable readings. Get more readings. Get more readings, at least twice a year. Just get a nice, good reading that will help to guide you and help you to understand. I think what I'm going to do, I'm so happy I'm saying this because I really love numerology. I'm not going to say I'm a numerologist, but I know numerology. Okay. I've taken the classes on numerology. I know numerology. And I think in my membership, that's what I'm going to work on is teaching numerology. And I'm going to tell you why because it is a little easier to learn than astrology. You really do need to get an astrology reading by an astrologer. Y'all leave ChatGPT alone with getting astrology readings because ChatGPT doesn't understand the nuance. This thing is not thousand, thousands of years old. I took a year-long astrology class and I'm still like, my astrology instructor was like, y'all can't learn everything that I'm teaching you in 1 year. You need to pick about 3 that you like and run with those. But it's going to take you a minute to master all of it. I've been studying astrology thanks to the eclipses um, since 2017. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about astrology. ChatGPT will never beat astrologers. Period. Full stop. It might give y'all some insight about what the astrologers shared with you, but you really need to get your specific chart looked at. There's this thing. I'm going to show y'all this really quickly. What is this called? Declination. I'm just going to make up. Tell you what. Y'all give me the name of a woman, I guess you could say a famous woman. No, decennials. Oh my God. Somebody who y'all admire. And I want to see if we can find that person's date of birth. I don't know how to get rid of that one. Okay. So this right here is called decennials. Astro theme. I'm just gonna find somebody. Hold on one second, y'all. Celebrities. Here we go. I want to see if I can find. This is a very annoying. Let's look at somebody's birthday today. Okay, let's see here. Whose birthday is today? Who is this? Adriana Carambo. Okay. Do we have her time of birth? Oh, she's born in 71. Don't know you. Ooh. The U.S. Constitution date. That's amazing. I ain't studying you. All right, yeah, let's just go here. Let's see who we don't know who she is. Time of birth. If y'all just hang with me, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Okay, so we're just gonna go with this time of birth. September 17th. I've been wanting to come on here and show y'all this and actually do some readings. 1951 at 9 a.m. and Manhattan, Kansas. Shut up. I had cousins that used to live there or near there. This is crazy. Who's heard of Manhattan, Kansas, huh? That's crazy. Okay, so what this does is it gives me these 10-year 9. Oh, let me make this so y'all can see it. It gives me this these time periods. They last for 10 years and 9 months, okay? And it lets me know what she is largely going to be focused on. So we are in the year 2025 right here. Well, so she's getting ready. She's been in a mercurial period. So for the last 10 years, she's been ruled by Mercury. And once we get to November 17th, she's going to move into a time where she's ruled by the sun. Okay. So Mercury, if it's a mercurial time, and I don't know who this lady is, but if it's a mercurial time, it could have something to do with learning and speaking. If she's, I wonder if she's like a reporter, a writer. Does anyone know who she is or what she does? Okay, she's in front of a microphone, so she's speaking. I don't know who this lady is, but anywho, it could be a time where she's doing a lot of speaking, learning, thinking. It could have to do with something with relationships because Mercury has to do with friends and neighbors and siblings and cousins and peers, friendships. And then under each one of those, each within that 10-year, 9-month period, there's planets that are ruling a certain amount of time. So, for instance, the sun took over December of 2016. Then Saturn took over June of 2018. Then Jupiter took over December 2020. There is no Chat GPT that can give you this kind of astrology. Just can't. So get the readings, y'all, and that will help y'all understand what cycle you're in and how to deal with it. And it can help make the 30s feel more doable. When I got into the 40s, I still didn't know until my late 40s what astrology was. And so I had to do it this way. Boom. I didn't know astrology until the end. But once I figured out where I was, baby, I jumped into that cycle full swing, full fledged ahead. Okay. And I haven't looked back. Knowing astrology has made the 50s easier because y'all think 30s is hard. To me, 40s was rough. It was way more rough than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be so free. But 50s has transits that is like they're kind of hard. They're a little bit hardcore because in the 50s, we're becoming elders. Okay. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. All right. Let me come back here. Right here. Because I don't think I was done. Yeah. Yes. Congratulations, Megan. Yeah. 2022-23 was a huge shakeup for my family of origin. Yeah. Numerology, I love it. And I'm going to start teaching that in my my membership because even though I believe in y'all getting readings, I want y'all to have ways of keeping up with the energy. That's to me what everything is about. It's about the energy. So to help you to keep up with the energy that is happening. And sometimes the more granular you get, then it's like I know the energy of today. So I'm doing the collective energy when I look at astrology like this. But like for the ladies who are in my coaching program, I literally go day by day in the monthly readings that I do for them, day by day, week by week, and they'll know, okay, I know I got a lot to do this week, but the astrology says it's going to be rough, and they're ready for it. You can do the exact same thing with numerology. So maybe that'll turn into an actual numerology course, but we're going to start off in the membership. Okay. I understand, Tasha. Yeah, thank y'all. I'm gonna look them up. Y'all gave me names. Thank you, Sierra and Adrian Marie Brown. But I just said, let me just go into astro theme because I know they put the date of birth in there. Manhattan, Kansas was our hangout spot when I was stationed. That's where my cousin, my uncle was stationed at Fort Riley. So there you go, Keita May. Definitely helps me understand what's what and why, especially when something is significant happens. Exactly. And I can tell y'all, if you keep up with the eclipses, that was one of the things. So y'all, if you go to, I got to figure out where to tell y'all to go. Now I'm giving y'all this in advance. It's going to be in Faith's, what is it called? I'm going to be on Faith's email. It's called what is that called, Megan? Anywho, Slacker Society or something like that. um, but y'all can get it now because it's going to be in an email where anybody can access it. So if you go there, you can see I created this thing called the 2 Moon Check-in. And so when you download it, it's how I started. Before I knew anything about astrology, I was keeping up with these moons. So keeping up with the new moon and the full moon. And then also keeping up with the eclipses. Baby, those will help you a lot. But the day-to-day, yeah, we want to find out a way to be more, more about it. Okay. Whoo. So Mars goes into Scorpio on the 22nd. I hope I'm okay with that. I'm a Scorpio rising, so we'll see what I think about it. But Mars is great in Scorpio because it rules Scorpio. So that's great. The sun goes into Libra. The sun is not the best in Libra because Libra is about let's everybody work together, partnership. And the sun is like, I am the ruler of the universe. Everything revolves around me. I am the sun. I am the star. So the sun's number is 1 and Libra's number is 2. Libra loves the duo. And the sun, the Leo, no ma'am. So it's a little bit tricky, but it's gonna be Libra season. And guess what? Because of that Virgo, I didn't even try to come up with this, but I was like, hey, all the Virgos come up to the front. I don't know if y'all saw that. I created a snippet. I said, I'm gonna create a little bit of dance, a little dance moment where it's like all the Libras come up to the front. Everybody else move to the back. It's Libra's turn. Because you know what? It's gonna be Libra season. So yes, even if your sun and rising, Libra season, it's for you. So yay, we're going into Libra season, and it's all about connecting and partnership and getting support. Libra wants to offer support to people. It's a very good sign that supports you. And it's about beauty, and I love that Libra's about refining things too. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. You can, Virgo brought up all this, like, we got to get this system together and we got to clean this up and clear that out. And it's like, we just put it together roughly. And then you can use Libra to kind of refine it, maybe add something beautiful. And, it's this elegant sign, it's also very diplomatic. When the sun goes into Libra, it's going to be interacting with Uranus and Pluto, bringing that trine energy of blessings and opportunity, especially working with other people. So sometimes when I look at astrology like this, and this is one of the reasons I do it, it's like I start putting it all together. And I can see how it's like things have been so rough, but even the sun is going to come through and bring some type of bringing together of the people, bringing together of relationships. Okay. And it just feels like the universe knows what it's doing. That's one of the things that's giving me peace right now. I'm like, okay, I trust the universe has been creating this world and doing this thing in this world since the world was here, which was long before I was here. Woo, this is a lot of astrology, y'all. Okay, so the sun is going to immediately oppose Neptune, just like Mercury did when it came into Libra. So whatever happens on the 18th, you might revisit it on the 23rd. I want y'all to write that down. Look at what happens on the 18th, the 19th. We'll say the 18th and the 19th. And then see what happens on the 23rd, 24th. Are you revisiting something from the 18th? And it could just be, a little bit emotional, to be honest with you. Something emotional about you and being relationship with someone else, or just seeing where there's an imbalance, a lack of harmony, that kind of thing. But like I said, it's going to immediately trine Uranus and Pluto, which is lovely. And then it's going to bring that Mars will square Pluto. And that could be a little bit rough. We probably will feel that it's this energy that's very intense. Okay. It'll bring a lot of intensity. And I think what will happen is you're stuck somewhere in your life. We all got some place where it's just like, this is not working. Well, that Mars coming into Scorpio, squaring Pluto will, because those signs are called fixed signs. And fixity is great because if we didn't have fixity, everything would constantly be changing. It would just all the time change. We wouldn't complete anything. Okay. So when we have planets and fixed signs like Scorpio and Aquarius, it's bringing up this energy of stability. That's another one, fixity and stability. But with the way Mars is interacting with Pluto, it'll feel a little bit like, no, fixity is not what's needed. We need something to change quick, fast, and in a hurry. And it could feel very transformative. Almost like I don't know if volcanic. It could be something sort of like volcanic, but it's like it comes from the inside out. Okay. It comes from deep within. There could be some natural, event. I don't like to speak this stuff into existence, but I mean, if you see it, I want y'all to know the astrology is indicating it. Something like this could happen. I mean, honestly, we could see something in the news that is like, I don't like this. I thought everything was good, universe. What's going on? But just remember, whatever's fixed right now, there's this change. There's something, it could be like this. I don't want to say it's dissolving it because it's more of like when you take, this may not be the best example, but it's the best that I have. When you think of dissolving something, that's Pluto. Neptune. Neptune is like you put something in the water, like dirt in the water, and it gets dissolved. Pluto is not that. Pluto is more like I put acid on it, and now it's dissolving. Okay, especially mixing up over there with Mars. So yeah, personally though, it definitely could feel like there's some big seismic shift happening on the inside of you, especially in an area where it was like, I can't get this, I can't get past this. So maybe it'll help some of us move past blocks. Okay. Whoo, I'm just gonna wait and do the 24th on the 24th. God is willing that I'm here, as the old folks say. But y'all, isn't it interesting? There are no exact transits for the rest of the month. We don't need nothing else, y'all. We're good. we're good. Let's see how long that goes for. Okay, so then we get back to it at the top of October. So, woo! Y'all, that was a lot of astrology. Let me see if y'all said anything else. Hello, little Zen crone. Great to see you. Glad you're here. A rainy day, a rainy Wednesday. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. In honor of Virgo season, to me, this is such a Virgo oracle. I love this oracle so much. It says the Green Witches Oracle deck. Embrace the wisdom and insight of natural magic. Aaron Murphy Hiscock, author of The Green Witch. I need to buy that book. Illustrated by Sarah Richard. And that I just love this deck so much. I'm such a nature person. My moon is in Taurus. So I'm so that's part of the reason I love Virgo too, because I'm a Taurus moon. Earth loves Earth. What can I say? Earth loves Earth. I love Capricorns. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I love Virgo and Capricorn. But I'm also a Pisces. And without Virgo and Capricorn, I get nothing done. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get a reading for this next week. Yeah, I think, what if I get an oracle deck that matches each season? This is very Virgo, because Virgo wants to create herbal remedies and, and a lot of people who are Virgo, they like have all this greenery. They love their plants, that kind of thing. That's not to say only Virgos are that way, but a lot of times. Interesting, y'all. The first card I pulled is the Moon card. Okay. Love this deck. Yes. Okay. I'm going to have to look that up. Herbal astrology deck. I'm going to put that up there so people can see. The herbal astrology deck. Okay. So let's see here. The moon. And the reason it's so interesting to me is because we're talking about the moon with the eclipses. The eclipses is all about the moon. Okay. I'm going to hold it this way. Yeah, it's how the when I'm making clips. Okay, anywho. The sun, no, excuse me. Wrong page. Moon. So it has to do with phases, cycles, and intuition. See, we've been talking about cycles all today. And I mentioned that intuition with that Jupiter. So it says the pale glowing moon is visible at different degrees throughout its monthly cycle. Even though its appearance changes, the moon is always present. Take solace in knowing nature is always there for you. The waxing and waning of the moon reminds you that nothing is static and that change is both inevitable and healthy. Okay, we're going to pause it. Nothing is static and change is inevitable, and it's also healthy. This is where we are right now. Is why I started out saying, hey, we may as well just go ahead and make all the changes that we feel are on the horizon or that we know have already shown up that are requesting a change. We may as well. We're just in that energy with the eclipse, with the energy of this the astrology of this year. Okay. You just may not be able to see it all the time. The phases of the moon represent various energies as manifested in the growth and retreat cycle of nature itself. And that's why I told y'all about that 2 moon check-in. There's the growth part of the phase of the moon, and then there's the waning part of the moon. We're actually in the waning phase of the moon because we're leading up to a new moon. Okay. So it's when we can accept that. When we can accept it, yes, we will cry, we will grieve. The thing that I still find so interesting with me is how much I was thinking about my kids this morning. And I was like, it's not like I want to go back because I want my kids to be grown and have their own lives. And I said, the only word I have is love. I just think back on it and it's just like, just being a mom. I love my kids. I miss that time. And it just is fascinating to me, you know? But what am I doing? I'm embracing the change. I'm an empty nester. Me and my husband are doing the empty nester things that people do. I'm going out. I didn't tell y'all this. I had to teach for my nonprofit. All these classes at the Y. Oh, I even taught some homeschoolers on last Friday. And when I was at the homeschoolers event, I was telling the moms, y'all, do y'all want me to come in and speak? I was like, y'all don't want to go back, but I miss it so much. And being there, seeing all the moms and the kids playing, it was an all black homeschooling collective or whatever you call it. And I was like, what? Maybe not all the parents were black, but all the kids, at least in part, one parent black. I never saw anything like it before because it just didn't exist. But I was like, I miss it. And I'm like, this is so interesting. But I'm embracing it. And I just let the tears flow. And then I'm like, can I come speak? Okay. So nothing is ever at a standstill in the natural world. And the same goes for the energy flowing inside of you. Sometimes you may find you retreat into yourself, and other times you reach outward for help. The moon card asks you to trust what your intuition tells you to do. That is the goddess centered lifestyle. Intuition is what we lead with here. We love logic. Don't get me wrong. I love thinking through things. I'm a thinker, but I lead with intuition. Okay. The reflection. Do you tend to withdraw when overwhelmed, or do you reach out for help? What are you doing? Are you asking for help, sister? This is very interesting. This next card. Very, very interesting. Let me make sure I get to the right page. Okay. Here we go. Buds. It stands for new beginnings and expansion. A bud is one of the earliest visual confirmations that the seed you planted is hard at work. Whether a budding leaf or bloom, it's proof that your endeavor is in motion. So far, so good. Buds are tender, delicate things. However, which still need close attention and care. Okay. Buds are tender, delicate things, however, which still need close attention and care. Extreme weather can damage them, as can neglect. The buds card shows you that you can interpret the success of this first stage as a positive sign, but don't assume the buds can handle the next stages on their own. So it's like being able to see it all the way through. We gotta, that Saturn energy, even that Virgo energy is kind of like, you got to see it all the way through. Doesn't matter if it's hard. Tend to that bud. Buds represent the first checkpoint in a project. Things are expanding, but not complete. Continue to tend and encourage. Continue to tend and encourage them, as without buds, there can be no fruit. Have confidence. The success of your first stage promises that you can achieve your goal. I like this. New beginnings and expansion. That goes with that eclipse energy, that new moon energy. Are there things in your life that you've left unfinished or abandoned? How can you help complete them? So that's what we're going to be working on. I'm just going to say we need to hold on to those until the end of the month. Both of those were really, really good. Because we'll feel that eclipse energy, like the first wave of it, which is right at the eclipse, easily for the next 2 weeks. It's in effect for how long? Who knows how long this eclipse energy is going to last? There's a wave. So we have the little wave, which is like this week or next week. Well, we feel it now, y'all, actually. You start feeling the eclipse about a month before it actually happens. And so that energy from that actual moon will wane after about 2 weeks. And then the second wave will last for, does anyone know? 6 months is what I'll give you, because I know sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. 6 months. But the actual eclipse cycle is, we look at it as 18 months, and we can divide it in half. 18 years, and then we divide it in half, 9 years. Okay. So first wave, 2 weeks, next wave, 6 months. So we're going to get to February, March of next year. We'll start a new wave. Okay. The eclipses won't come again for another 6 months. So we got 6 months that we're dealing with this particular eclipse. But the bigger eclipse on both the Pisces and Virgo axis is 18 years. But we also look at that half point of 9 years. Okay. So we got a lot that we're working with. We got a lot that we're working with. This is not just the day of. Remember the moon. It talks about cycles. So we have the shorter cycles, and then we have the longer cycles. Okay. And so I just want y'all to know we don't have to have it all done today. And we want to keep reminding ourselves, that's right. That's right. What's my mission right now? What is my mission right now? What am I focused on right now? Okay. Yes, we're gonna feel it. It'll start waning. And then, like I said, we'll go beyond that also. So very good. I love that you gave that. Thank you, Kita May. Whew. So with this new moon happening, where's my thing? Oh. With this new moon happening here, that starts a new lunar cycle. Okay. And so, that lunar cycle takes us into that waning part. You remember it talked about that growth. It takes us into the growth part of this particular cycle. And then it'll get over to Pisces. No, the next full moon will be in Aries, because the next new moon is going to be in Libra. And we've already had the Pisces full moon. So we're going to have a full moon in Aries. So that's how we know we're at the halfway cycle. And then it'll come back around, and then the next new moon will be in Libra. Okay. So we want to make sure that that's how we work. That's the goddess lifestyle. That's the goddess lifestyle. We're working with these cycles. So yeah, this has been amazing. This has been wonderful. It's so good to come back. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And I'm going to turn on a little music. We're going to dance just a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, did I leave it on? Let's see here. I don't really want to dance to that one. I'll put on some of my I do like that song though. We'll do this one instead. Okay, y'all, thank y'all so much. We're gonna get together again next week. Y'all will probably hear from me again really soon. I feel like things have kind of settled down a little bit, and I can get back to just what I do on the regular. Are y'all gonna dance with me? May you dancing? Who's dancing with me out there? Watch this. Having my little All right, y'all, let's dance. Let's have a good time. A hip shimmy. Move your knees back and forth. All right, you ready? We're going to do the shoulder shimmy. Hip shimmy. Hip We're gonna do a step touch. Ready? I don't have my mic on. We're gonna do a little bit of a hip lift over that step touch. Okay, you ready? Let's do it. Are you out there dancing with me? Yes. Very good. Let's do this thing. Come on. Come on. All right, y'all. Peter May, you should know that one. That's in the group. I put that choreography in the group. Let me turn this down just for a second. Whew. Because I want to teach dance so badly. I was like, hey, if you're in my membership, I record a class and put it inside the membership for you. So yeah, y'all come inside and y'all get belly dance classes too. One a month. All right, y'all. Take care. All right. Love y'all. Keep dancing. Keep dancing. Keep dancing.